Right, guys, Man United have just beaten Everton 3-1 in the FA Cup, kicking off the third round on Friday night. Really good game to watch. Both teams gave it a good go. Everton, when they conceded first goal, they didn't back down, and even after the second goal, they still put up a fight. So, fair play to them. But yeah, it was a really impressive performance from one player in particular for me, once again, in the form of his life. Marcus Rashford basically played a massive part in all three goals. The first goal, he set up and put the ball across for Anthony to tap it home. And I think the first goal was the one that I look at and I think, yeah, there's a bit of poor defending there. Because I thought Ben Godfrey didn't quite get close enough to Rashford, because Rashford, Godfrey's doing the right thing to him, getting him to go on his weak side, on his left foot. Rashford's not got a bad left foot though, is the problem there. So if you're going to do that, and it is the right thing to do, you've got to stay tight to him still. Not too tight, obviously, but he gave him far too much space. So that was a big problem. And also then you look at the other side of the defence with Tarkowski and Mykolenko. In fact, out of the four defenders in the box that Everton had in that time, I think Coleman was a bit further up the field. Cody was the only one who I would say was correctly positioned. Tarkowski didn't drop deep enough, and Mykolenko didn't follow his man at the back post. So I think you've got to really look at pretty much the entirety of the Everton defence bar Connor Cody there, because it was very poor defending. I thought very poor positioning, to be specific. But Everton, they got an equaliser within about 5 minutes, and yeah, David De Gea, he's a great goalkeeper, David De Gea, one of the best of his generation, 100%. But over the past 4 years or so, he's still had periods where he's had good form, and to be fair, recently he's not been too bad, but that's an absolute shocker. And he does seem to have it where once every month or two he drops an absolute clanger. He is becoming a bit error prone as he is getting further on in his career. But he's still easily good enough to be the goalkeeper for Manchester United. And I've seen people saying, "Oh, Jack Butland needs to start next game." Look, David De Gea didn't have a great game today. The one big thing he had to deal with, he failed to, but that happens. It was good work from Amadou Onana to feed it through to Neal Maupay and to actually get the ball in the first place. Actually, Maupay didn't give up on it, and nor did Connor Cody once De Gea did make the dreadful error. They did work hard throughout this game, Everton, and on another day they possibly could have got something out of it. I thought Man United were good value for the win. They did play well, and before half time they were creating more chances. But the one player who really stood out for me in this Everton team was Demarai Gray. Actually, he hit the post a few moments before Everton did equalise, so there were chances in this game for Everton. And yeah, Demarai Gray just caused the United defence a lot of problems. And to be fair, United did deal with him reasonably well. But I felt he was probably Everton's best player in this game. He did have a very good game. But after half time, United managed to get back in front. This time, Rashford creating down the left hand side once again, and he pulls into a really good position, lots of space, and gets past Seamus Coleman, beats him twice almost. And you can't really fault Seamus Coleman. I don't think he's up against an athlete who's at the peak of his powers, and Coleman clearly isn't as athletic as he once was. But I still felt Coleman had a decent game, to be fair. He didn't make many mistakes in this game, so but he was quite unfortunate to come up against Rashford in this instance. And Rashford plays it across goal, And Conor Cody, for instance, the Chelsea game last night, I blamed Kepa for the Man City goal, for not committing. Conor Cody commits, and I think he made the right decision, because you can't leave it and let it go across goal if you're a good defender. And he tries a bit. Sometimes that's going to happen in football. Sometimes it's going to come off the end of your toe and flick into the back of the net. That is just what defending is about, really. So I think if you ask Conor Cody, with the footballing IQ that he has, I think if you ask him, would he do the same thing again? I think he probably would, because it is the correct thing to do. Not to put it in your own net, on purpose, but you have to go for the ball in that instance. I personally think. But Everton, they did have a bit of misfortune once again with Alex Iwobi coming off injured, and it didn't look too good. It looked like his ankle did, unfortunately, completely roll or twist or something when Malacia made that tackle. It wasn't a bad tackle by any means. In fact, Malacia did put in a couple of strong tackles, nothing dangerous, but I think the United fans would quite like to see that, because you like to see a bit of fire in the belly in a youngster, if that makes sense, a bit of passion, and I think Malacia has that. So yeah, he also had a good game today. But yeah, it's just not looking good for Everton right now. They did play a lot better in this game than I have seen them in recent weeks, because even in that Man City game, I thought they defended quite well, but they didn't offer much in attack. Demarai Gray, from what I understand, that goal that he scored, the screamer, that was the only real time Everton properly got forward in the game. So this performance was probably better than that one, and they did equalise once again. Through Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who came off the bench. It was good work down the right. I think might have even been Demarai Gray once again who set it up. But unfortunately it was correctly ruled out. And yeah, United managed to get another right at the end of the game. Ben Godfrey fouled Garnacho. There wasn't a lot Godfrey could do. He even needed to decide whether to make the tackle or not. He decided to, fair play, he got close to getting the ball, but it didn't quite get there. I don't think it was, a horrendous mistake to concede the foul, because Garnacho was in a very dangerous position, so he sort of had to try and get to the ball, but Garnacho managed to just nip in front of him. And Rashford dispatched the penalty despite Pickford's best efforts to put him off. But yeah, it finished 3-1, United through to the next round. Do some player ratings. Man United start with home team. David De Gea given a 5. Definitely Man United's worst player, mainly because it was such a good outfield performance, and the one big thing De Gea had to deal with, he didn't, and it was a fairly simple task. So it was just one of them days for David De Gea. And then in defence, I've given Diego Dallo and Malacia, the two fullbacks, I've given both of them 6s, both solid performers. I wouldn't say anything spectacular, but did their jobs. And centre back, Rafael Varane, I've given a 7. He had some really good moments on the ball. I remember in the first half he did this skill right down by the corner flag on the right wing, and managed to beat Idrissa Gana Gueye, I think it was. And it was something you just didn't expect from him at all, but he was brilliant in this game for Varane. Luke Shaw, I've given a 6 again. Just a solid performance, really. So yeah. And then midfield, Casemiro, I've given a 6 as well, because I thought that he did some things well. Like I think there were a couple of tactical fouls when Everton were on the break, which he was brilliant at stopping, and he is like the master of managing to avoid yellow cards somehow. But yeah, there were a couple of mistakes in his game tonight when he gave the ball away, so I'll give him a 6. Eriksen a 7. Yeah, brilliant performance. Not much more to be said in the centre of midfield. Anthony also a 7. Did well to time his run correctly for his goal. And I just think since he's come back into the team after Ten Hag sort of took him out of the team for a period, or I don't know if it was an injury or something, but it almost seems like in the first couple of months in his United career. He did well goal scoring wise, but I felt as though he was taking the showboating a little bit too far. But since he's come back, he's sort of laid off it a little bit, and I think he's been a better performer for it. So fair play to him. It's definitely been a positive change. Bruno Fernandes, I've given a 6. Just wasn't overly involved tonight. Got a few good shots off, but yeah, the star man was definitely Marcus Rashford. I've given him man of the match. Brilliant performance. I've given him an 8, and yeah, involved in all 3 goals. Constant problem causing for the Everton defence. So definitely deserves the man of the match in this game. And yeah, I say this every time I make a video on Man United. It's just in the form of his life. There's no two ways about it. Anthony Martial, I've given a 6. He again a little bit quiet, but I suppose you could say he definitely stretched the Everton defence. So yeah, I think 6 is fair. Then on to Everton, Jordan Pickford, I've given a 6. I don't think there was anything he could really do about all 3 goals, to be honest. It was a good penalty from Rashford, and there was nothing he could do to stop the first 2. So yeah, 6 is definitely fair. Seamus Coleman, I've given a 6 as well. I've already said I thought he had a good performance all round. So yeah, and then centre backs Ben Godfrey and James Tarkowski have given 5s. I think that they made a couple of errors in this game, but Connor Cody I've given a 6 because he did well for the goal. His defending all round was decent, and I don't think there was anything he could do about the own goal really, as I've already said. And Mikalenko I've given a 5 as well because I felt that first goal definitely should have done it a little bit better for me. And then into midfield, Iwobi I thought had a good game before he unfortunately got taken off. I've given him a 6. It provided some good energy in midfield for Everton. And Donana I've also given a 6. He had a solid game too. Just did really well for that first goal to bring the ball down and sort of roll his man. And yeah, again, gave some legs in midfield, and he's definitely been one of Everton's better performers this season, Amadou Onana. Idrissa Gana Gueye I've given a 5 because I don't think it was the best signing ever from Everton, and he's definitely not the player that played for Everton in his first spell. And in this game again, I just thought there were times where he's either give the ball away too easily, or he like one of the Man United midfielders or attackers would skip past in midfield too easily. So yeah, I've given him a 5. Neil Maupay I've given a 6. He does what he does, tries to cause as many problems as possible. Unfortunately, nothing really fell for him in this game, but yeah, he still ran his socks off. And Demarai Gray, for me, Everton's best player, caused lots of problems. Unlucky not to score, and yeah, he's going to have to keep up this form if Everton are going to stay up this season. And then finally, one of the substitutes had a substantial amount of minutes. So Abdoulaye Doucouré I've also given a 6 because he made some really good attacking runs when he was on the pitch for Everton. So yeah, I think he definitely deserves a 6 as well. But anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.